but he can not do them fast. He's a big guy. Speed is not his strong suit.
And I don't even think Braun Strowman. Big E is certainly stronger than Braun Strowman.
100%.
I think Cesaro.
Big E can pick up Braun Strowman.
Yeah, I don't think Braun Strowman could pick up Braun Strowman.
I don't think so.
So I think he's kind of like the Big Show.
I think Cesaro could pick up Braun Strowman.
I think is stronger.
Wait, what did I say?
Yeah, Cesaro could pick up Braun Strowman.
Cesaro, right?
Yeah. Okay. I think he's stronger. Obviously, Lesnar, I think, is stronger. Listen, and again, they can rewrite it. I don't hate Braun Strowman fully. Like, I'm not against him doing good things.
I just cannot take when this guy grabs his mic and goes, "You get these hands."
I think this iteration
needs to stop.
Yeah, this version of Braun, I'm not a fan of, but I think
everything
he has potential.
about it needs to stop.
All right, let's move on to some good things because we're very angry.
Let's
right
talk
now.
real quick because I want to get you. Did you watch NXT Takeover?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. What was the match of the night?
Listen,
what were you going to say first?
What I was going to say is I did not like the ending of the main event.
I completely agree with you.
I thought it was awful.
I think, and
I loved everything about it.
How about this? I hate everything about that match as far as they wrote it wise. Was Johnny Gargano, who was your symbol, he was your Captain America, and you turned him evil, turned him into Dark Johnny? Why? Why did you do that? As bad as things got in comic books, Captain America never straight up went dark and evil. He was always the shining light of integrity and everything. That's what Johnny Gargano should be.
Ciampa pushed him, but
not enough. Not enough. This Johnny Gargano, I think that this is getting kind of lazy the way they're writing it. And I'm going to tell you why here. And Dom probably is sitting at home, sitting in his dorm, freaking out if he's listening, which he probably isn't.
No,
probably hammered.
No chance.
He's probably hammered at 4:30 in the afternoon. Yeah. I think that what they should have done is they should have put Tommaso Ciampa, have a great match still. Ciampa should have went over clean. And now you make it undeniable that Tommaso Ciampa is better than Johnny Gargano. You don't have it that Johnny Gargano beat Johnny Gargano. He's lost 3 times that way now. We don't need that again. What we needed was Tommaso Ciampa to go over clean, and now you say Johnny Gargano's a loser, Tommaso Ciampa is the champ.
I mean, he did go over clean. It's not like anybody interfered.
No. The whole thing is that he need this stupid road case, and he dislocated his knee, and he couldn't stand. Or else he would have. That is what they went with, right?
Yeah.
That's what they went with.
What did you
Johnny
think?
Gargano beat himself.
What did you think was fight of the night? Or match
Ricochet
of the night?
and Cole. There's no shot.
I liked a lot of it. I mean, a lot of it was too spot festy.
I know you hate the spot fest.
No, but a lot of it was great.
I love the spot fests. I thought everything about this. That kick to the face is something of beauty. And there will be nothing like that.
Well, explain it. Well, you're talking about when Ricochet did the lion salt.
He did the lion salt, and Adam Cole hit him with a super kick to the face.
That was one of the best things I've ever seen.
In the middle of the thing, he was completely upside down, and he got kicked in the face.
That was brilliant. It could have been bad. I thought this was one of the weaker takeovers, though, for sure.
I think the Dream and EC3 did not go the way it should have. I think that should have been a better match. But I said it last week. I think that's because EC3 is a big man. He needs a fast opponent to overcompensate for his bulkiness. That guy is strong.
I know you're a fan of EC3.
I am. Every time he grabs the mic, I love when he talks on the microphone.
In the ring, he's too big.
That's what I'm saying. He's too big. That's a guy who's, Braun. He could pick Braun Strowman up and throw him. 100%. EC3 has maybe 0.01% body fat.
I think he's on steroids, if you ask me.
I'm not even sure. If he is natural, then my God, I need him to start taking me to the gym.
I think the first match might have been my favorite, the tag team match.
That match was absolutely incredible. Everything about that match was great.
That was great. I mean, every match was decent. The only problem I had with the Dream and EC3 match, there was a lot of waiting. Like, EC3 was kind of like on the ropes in one scene like it's a movie. Well, it kind of is. Well, EC3, it seemed like he was waiting.
They say it's a live-action movie.
It kind of is.
What they call it.
I just think, a lot of it, especially with the Ricochet and Adam Cole, was really good, but it was a little too choreographed, which
I honestly think the Dream and EC3 was the weakest match of the night.
Probably.
I thought the women's match was great.
It was good.
I thought, and I, even though I hate the way that they have Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, the way the story was through the match, I still think it's a great wrestling match.
Yes, for sure.
There was no, just me personally, I have a gripe with it. Doesn't mean it's bad. Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler, I thought had a great story, and Kairi Sane is so good.
Oh, she's adorable.
Great. I hate her gimmick, but she is so good in the ring. Ricochet and Cole, best match of the night. I think it's up there for me, one of the matches of the year. I think I thought it was amazing.
I'd give it match of the night.
And that tag team match was, and I love Mustache Mountain right now. I love them a lot right now. I think their tag team name is dumb.
It's the worst name in wrestling.
But it is. But the two of them hit so hard and so well. And Tyler Bate is a future WWE champion.
I don't know. These guys are very tiny.
I don't care.
I don't know how.
I don't care. This guy picked up two guys and he suplexed both of them at the same time.
Listen,
I don't. There, you can tell me all you want. It's fake, and that these guys they help each other out. Mm-hmm. But when you're being lifted in the air and you cannot do anything but just limp and let this guy lift you and throw you, you cannot help him. There was one guy on his back and one guy in his arms being lifted up. You can't help him. There is no helping that guy. I could see if one jumped off the rope or something and they moved a certain way to help him slam or something. That was pure strength on Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate is amazing. He's a future WWE champion. No
you
argument.
You can say that. I
want to see that kid go up against. And he's a kid. He's only, 21 or 22, I want to say. I want to see him go up against AJ Styles before AJ goes. I think that would be an insane match.
Well, just because you're talented and strong in the ring, there are many things that contribute to being a WWE champion. This is, of course, an entertainment thing. So just because, even look at a guy like Cesaro. Cesaro, in my opinion, is more talented in the ring than basically the entire roster. But there's more things. There's the look. There's the height. There's the muscles. There's the appeal of being able to sell merchandise.
Tyler Bate has it all.
Listen, there's plenty of time.
If they do this the right way, I think he can talk. I don't know if he can talk that well. I think that might be where he needs to work on. Mm-hmm. But I think as far as everything else, the way he could sell himself, the way he holds himself, the way he does things, his move set, everything about this guy is great. I love Pete Dunne. I think Pete Dunne is one of the best wrestlers in the world. But the guy is disgusting. He's got acne scars on his face.
Oh, yeah.
He does not have the look of a WWE champion. Mm-hmm. It's just, that is what it is. And I love this guy. He'll be an Intercontinental, a U.S. champion if he stays with WWE. But I don't think he'll ever reach that top tier. Or if he does, it will be for transitional. As much as I love him, that's just the way it is. He might not even ever hit that point with Vince McMahon in charge. Maybe when Trips takes the whole thing.
Let's move on, because we got a lot to talk about. We only got 20 minutes. By the way, you're listening to The Squared Circle right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. It's Joe Ritter here with me, Justin Greenberg. And I'm not a good talker, because you just heard me stumble across my words, but we're going to go over the top 5, our personal top 5 favorite men on the mic.
Yes, sir.
So we'll go back and forth with, so I'll do my number 5, then you give me your number 5. My number 5 is the man in charge, Vince McMahon. I don't think there's been a better villain in the last 25 years with pro wrestling. Absolutely, I love everything that Vince McMahon did on the microphone. He could put butts in seats unlike any performer. You just wanted to hate this guy. He was the evil boss, the foil to Stone Cold Steve Austin. And without without McMahon, there is no Austin, in my opinion. So I have Vince McMahon top 5 best on the microphone.
I didn't put Vince McMahon in my top 5. I don't know. I just didn't think of him, honestly. Mm-hmm. I think I put in my honorary. I think I had number 5. Honestly, I have John Cena. I think this guy, if you put him in a ring with anyone, could cut a promo on anybody.
You know what? As far as this generation goes, I agree.
And he's the only guy from. Actually, the next guy, I guess you could say, is technically this generation. Mm-hmm. But I think John Cena is one of the best on the mic of all time. He's definitely up there with me. I think he could cut a promo with any other guy in this list, and it will go flawlessly. I'll start. I'll do my number.
Hold on, I just want to talk about Cena real quick. I think when motivated and given the right thing to talk about, he's really good. A lot of the times, though, it's the same shtick, and it does get old. But when he cuts those promos, unlike a guy like Roman Reigns, John Cena can literally be booed out of the arena, get on the microphone, cut some pro-USA nonsense, and the whole crowd will be chanting USA. Yep. He has the ability and the ability on the think on the fly, because he would do the freestyle raps, and that was, or he would write raps, and that was all him. He has the ability to work with other wrestlers and not be maintained to just a script. He could just think on the fly. So who's your number 4?
My number 4 is CM Punk. I think CM Punk, talking-wise, this guy was encapsulating. The second he grabbed the microphone, you wanted to hear what was going to come out of his mouth. Every single time. Listening to him he did commentary a couple times for NXT and one time on Raw. It was amazing. I thought it was great. And, whenever you listen to Punk, you said, is this going to be some scripted? Is this going to be something totally off the cuff from him? When he called Triple H Paul Levesque, was something else.
I mean, a lot of people love CM Punk. We are just different generations, so I would assume a lot of your guys are going to be more of the modern guys.
Nope. From here on, I go old school,
and I have no problem with that. I think CM Punk is great. I wish he was still doing the pro wrestling instead of the mixed martial arts. But I have no problem with CM Punk.
He's done with mixed martial arts.
Well, I don't know. He's done with UFC. I don't know where he goes from here.
With mixed martial arts.
My number 4 was the foil for Vince McMahon, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Again, a guy who could deliver in the ring, but for me, it was his promo work, whether it's his catchphrases, that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so, or Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass. There's so many memorable promos and moments, from his King of the Ring coronation in 1996 to, the what chance and everything in between. Stone Cold just had it. He had this charisma that, can't be measured. So my number 3, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Let me tell you something. I wish I got to see more of Dusty Rhodes. I've gone back in time and watched a lot of his NWA work or his WCW work. I'm not going to sit here and say, I've seen all of it, but from what I've seen, this guy had more charisma in his little pinky than anybody on the entire roster of the WWE right now. He was just the American dream. He lived it. He breathed it. And every time he got on the microphone, he connected with the fans more so than any wrestler on this list. He was the guy. Because my other 1 and 2 are great villains. Dusty Rhodes, to me, is the ultimate good guy.
To me, number 3 was a guy who is completely opposite to Dusty Rhodes, in that people didn't connect with him. They hated him for what he was Ric Flair. Woo! Ric Flair, when he talked about how he bought a $1,000 suit and he's out with the women and he's doing this, it's something else. Either you say to yourself, man, I want to be that guy, or God, I hate that guy, because he has that. So I think Ric Flair could go into literally any town and he can elicit some sort of reaction from every person in the audience. I don't think anyone could not hear him talk and not be affected by it somehow.
I mean, he's resonated through not just, wrestling, it's pop culture, whether
they
it's
rap about him.
You see parodies of him on TV shows. He's the guy that's super iconic.
There's football teams that, they say, clap 2 times, give me a Ric Flair, and they all scream and go crazy. They do the styling and profiling. You can even see it in current day wrestling now. I think a guy like Bobby Roode is trying to be a Ric Flair.
Not even close, but you are right. He does try to embody it, whether it's with the robes or the I'm better than you. Although he doesn't do that anymore.
He doesn't do it anymore. But you can see him when he's walking out. He hits a little styling and profile when he walks out. This is all stuff Ric Flair did, and I think if it wasn't for his mic skills, we wouldn't have any of that.
Well, I'll say this. Those 2, Rhodes and Flair, are synonymous. It's probably arguably the best rivalry in all of pro wrestling. That's why I have Ric Flair as my number 2. I think, Flair, although, Rhodes was the great babyface, Flair could be a great babyface, and he was also, the heel of the 1980s. We've said everything we could say about Ric Flair in the ring, but we're talking specifically on the mic. He could cut those promos just about how he's better than you. Who do you have
My number 2 is Rock the Dwayne Johnson.
Not bad.
I think this guy could walk out, grab a microphone, and the entire audience, home and in stadium would be screaming if you smell what the Rock is cooking.
He's different than these guys because he's a catchphrase guy. That's why I don't have him in my top 5. And he's great, and he could do more than the catchphrases, but he was more of like, I'm going to stay my shtick, and it's going to be everybody chanting it along, whereas Dusty Rhodes, you didn't know what the heck this guy was going to say.
I mean, for me, I just say that because of The Rock, just because of the way this guy, his catchphrases, sure, he was going to say the same thing every time, but the fans
loved it.
But the fact was, he said the same thing every time 150 times to 1,000 times, and every single time it got the exact same reaction of every person going wild for it. Which I think nowadays, if the same guy said the same 2 or 3 catchphrases over and over and over again, I don't think it would last very long.
No, it would get old.
But this never gets old.
No.
If he walked in a ring tomorrow or tonight, people going ballistic.
Absolutely. Who's your number one?
My number one actually debuted against him, and he's still doing it today. I think Chris Jericho is one of the best. I think he is the best talker on the mic, and he still is. This guy could